Florida State's defense gets healthier. Todd Reeball, the fine linebacker, now 100%, and Darrell Bush returns for the first time. All the stats, all the intangibles seem to be in the Seminoles' favor, but the Hurricanes say, remember, this is still a rivalry. Anything can happen.
I mean, everybody got their homies now. I mean, when FSU come, everybody turns to animals.
It's expected to be a hot and steamy night here, and that is a factor right here on the bench. Florida State's a much deeper team. They shuttle in players. It's been a factor in their big blowout wins so far. And Miami no longer a major force in the fourth quarter. So they're preparing for a Seminole scalping on Saturday night. Back to Sports Center.
Thanks, Chris. In the 90s, no team has been more of a nemesis for the Seminoles than Miami. 4 times their first loss has been laid on them by the Hurricanes, including last year, when, as they are now, FSU was 4-0. The only year they didn't lose to Miami, they won the 1993 National Championship.
The first day of an NBA training camp can be grueling, and most of the time...
Next, college game day from Seminole country, where hurricane season has arrived to mark the latest chapter of this Floridian football fracas.
Every year, it's going to be a full-quarter fist fight.
Florida's Gators hope the waters don't prove dangerous on the bayou. And Colorado show the unbeaten Jayhawks they're not in Kansas anymore. With Penn State stuff, the Buckeyes now set the pace in the Big Ten.
We got a good offensive line, but Pace Dog's the guy that makes it go.
And Eddie Robinson's legacy grows as he chases win number 400. Game day visits the eye of the storm next. And welcome inside the bigger, louder Doak Campbell Stadium. Very much a work in progress. They expect the largest crowd ever to watch another in the great Seminole Hurricane battle. Welcome to College Game Day on what someday soon should be called Bobby Bowden Field. Chris Fowler along with Lee Corso. When he played at Florida State, this place was 20,000 seats. They used to watch the Sunshine Scooter run. There he is.
All right, look at that.
You got more people here than used to watch some of your games.
No question about it. All right.
Craig, we don't have any embarrassing photos of Craig James.
Thank goodness.
Really a strange atmosphere here. Hurricane Opal causing devastation along the Gulf Coast, but now it is game day. All the Seminole royalty back in town. Kurt Reynolds is here. 20 former players, including Deion Sanders, who will be part of the ceremony tonight. That always gets a cheer in Tallahassee. Prime time working out just a few minutes ago. Testing the rehabilitated ankle as the fans go crazy here. This is not the showdown of the century for once, because Miami is obviously struggling. Both teams have had 2 weeks to get ready for this ball game. One thing you can't get ready for behind us, the new end zone seats. It's enclosed. It's much louder. It's a trouble for a new quarterback from Miami, a guy with still wet behind the ears. Mike Adamley has more on that. Mike?
Talk about a rude baptism of fire. Certainly doesn't get much tougher than the south end zone of Doak Campbell Stadium. You know, the last time that Ryan Clement started a varsity football game was in 1993 against Boulder High School. Now, he did get his feet wet several weeks ago against Virginia Tech, but tonight is his first collegiate start. He says he's ready for the challenge.
I've just tried to prepare myself as much as I can in the film room, so nothing that they do is going to surprise me. So nothing, you know, I'm not going to make any mental errors, and I'll never make an error in effort. I mean, I'm always going to give it 110% no matter what we're doing. So if I make an error, it's because I throw a bad ball somewhere, and, you know, I don't think I'm prone to doing that either. I just wanted to be sure that I'm not going to lose this game for us.
Everybody's going to have emotion on games like this. This is why kids come to Florida State, and why they come to Miami is to play in big-time games.
These boys all remember last year, Miami loses to Washington at home for the first time in 5 years, and everybody says, well, they're washed up. They've had it. It's not the same old Miami. They killed us the next week.
You know, Ryan talked to several of the former Miami quarterbacks like Craig Erickson and Bernie Kosar and Gino Torretta prior to tonight's FSU game. Probably the best advice he got, Chris, from Torretta. He said, whatever you do, don't do what I did. That was throw 4 interceptions. I don't think he will.
Well, that's harder to carry out that advice than to listen to it. Those Canes, former Canes, have been supportive. Not all the former Miami players have been supportive in tough times. Florida State leads so deep at the skill positions, but that's not really the whole story of this offense.
Well, Chris, Florida State leading the nation now, averaging over 59 points a game, and one of the main reasons, their offensive line. They have 4 starters returning, but the secret to their offensive line is Clay Shiver. He's the best center in America playing in the shotgun offense. Now, if you'll notice, Clay is the quarterback of the offensive line. He calls all the line protections. Coach Jimmy Higgins says that Clay Shiver is the best center ever to play at Florida State University. Now, Miami has been in and played 12 straight New Year's Day games. That's impressive, but they've lost the last 3. Florida State has won 13 straight bowl games. Now, to me, that indicates that Florida State's program is still going up, and Miami might be struggling against big games.
I think they'd even admit that right now they've got young guys that they're depending on in key positions and that they are trying to rebuild or build something. But they do have 3 good guys on defense, and I think in this game here, Danny Cannell, as powerful as he is, they've got to come out in Miami and have good performance from Kennard Lane. He's a talented individual. He's got to get in the backfield. Kenny Holmes, another guy that has a lot of praise going his way, and then Ray Lewis. He must perform. These 3 guys at the front 7 can put enough pressure on Florida State to put some havoc in there. They've got to lift the other teammates around them to a different level. The intensity of this game, last year I was on the sidelines and I told you to, I cannot believe how hard they play. Every play, most times it's a half or 3 quarters. They played 4 quarters.
I think Miami will play hard, but there's a lot to overcome. You talked about pressure on Cannell. If you don't get it, you got big problems. Miami has no interceptions, and a true freshman, a guy in his 2nd year of organized football, Nick Ward, will start at corner. Are you kidding me? In a game of this magnitude? They better get some pressure. Meanwhile, better late than never. Mississippi State and Auburn meet today in the game that was postponed from Thursday night by Hurricane Opal. Again, Jackie Sherrill coaches in a Hurricane Bowl. Again, versus a team from Alabama. Again, while his team is under the cloud of NCAA scrutiny. His 88 A&M team on probation lost to Alabama 30-10. That started a feud with Bill Curry. The early kickoff today will still allow Terry Bowden to watch the game here tonight, but he won't have 2 extra days to prepare for the game with Florida next week. In Happy Valley, a rematch of last year's Mount Nittany massacre, the worst loss for the Buckeyes since '46, 63-14. This time it's Ohio State with national title aspirations with you. Mike will have college football updates all day long. And a lot more on College Game Day from Tallahassee is coming up. The other Danny in the state of Florida, Danny Werfel, and the Gators, they go into Death Valley to take on LSU. We'll talk about that ball game. And more on the showdown in Happy Valley. We'll meet the guy who opens all those big holes.
Well, if you think this place is rocking right now, let's join public address announcer Nick Minikoff for a special pregame presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Tonight is one of the most exciting nights in Florida State history. Tonight, FSU will do something which it has done only 4 other times in its 49-year football history. FSU has had its share of legendary football figures. Some had dazzling talent, some a ferocious competitive spirit, and some a charismatic personality. But one had them all. Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the north end zone and join us in welcoming back Prime Time. Joining Deion is longtime friend and FSU equipment manager, Jimmy Callaway. Deion Sanders was FSU's first 2-time consensus All-American and the first Jim Thorpe winner to wear the garnet and gold. He starred on the football, baseball, and track teams. And now it's virtually impossible to see a jersey number 2 without thinking of Deion Sanders. Tonight, Deion joins Seminoles great Fred Biletnikoff, Ron Sellers, Ron Simmons, and Charlie Ward in receiving the highest honor for an FSU athlete. FSU Athletic Director Dave Hart joins Deion to officially retire jersey number 2 at the end of this season. Congratulations, Prime Time!
So we will take a break. We'll be back with the toss of the coin in just a moment.
Lately, Mike and I have been driving around, trying to find the perfect house. It's going to have a fenced-in yard, a little garden, and inside we want lots of windows, hardwood floors, and a big brick fireplace. And just know we're going to find it. I know it.
At Fannie Mae, we're the nation's largest source of funds for mortgage lenders. Call us for a free guide to get you started on the path to home ownership.
Enterprise? Hi, I'm at the repair shop. I need to rent a car.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up.
This is great.
Drive you to our place and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
You have a 30-year mortgage. So shouldn't you have a 30-year faucet? Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Fannie Mae, showing America a new way home. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Well, Deion Sanders has joined a select group. Only 4 others have had their numbers retired. Charlie Ward, the Heisman Trophy winner. Ron Simmons, the dominating nose guard. And 2 of the Seminoles' greatest receivers, Ron Sellers and Fred Biletnikoff. Deion tonight as he holds up number 2. And it now is retired here in Seminole country. Now let's go down to the field. Referee Terry Monk with our toss of the coin.
You'll speak for Florida State. I have a commemorative coin. Commemorative coin I'm going to give both captains tonight. Miami, you have the choice. Call it while it's in the air. If I drop it, we'll toss it again. Heads is called. Heads is called. It is tails. But the toss would be your choice. Second half option. Florida State won the toss, declines, will select a second half option. You'll have your choice to start the game. They'll be receiving. Which ball would you like to turn your back here? Turn your back here.
So the toss of the coin, and we're just about set to get this 1995 edition of Florida State and Miami underway. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried, and welcome to another CFA Primetime game right here on ESPN. You know, Mike, if I were Bobby Bowden, I would not do a win one for the Gipper speech tonight. I literally would go down the top 25 scores from today and read all the upsets and say, you're smart enough to understand this is what's already happened today. Florida State is a 2.5 touchdown under our favorite coming into this ball game. In a rivalry like this, should anybody be favored by that much?
No, they shouldn't be. But, Ron, when you take for granted the fact that Florida State's offense is so prolific in scoring behind Danny Cannell, so many weapons, but in talking to the Miami players yesterday at their walkthrough, they believe they can win this game.
Okay, Mike, then be specific with us. What does Miami have to do to stay in this football game and have a chance at a Cinderella position like Northwestern's already done today and North Carolina, teams like that?
I think 2 things. One, they've got to keep the ball and defense in front of them. They cannot give up any big plays to this potent offense. Second thing is they've got to be able to run the football and keep Danny Cannell on the sidelines. Now, to do that, Danielle Ferguson has to have a big game. On the field before the game when I was down there, it looks like his ankle's bothering him a little bit, so we'll have to keep. But they need great play out of their tailbacks.
Okay, Mike Adamle is down on the sideline as usual. A very busy sideline. Michael, let's go down to you.
Indeed it is, Ron and Mike. You know, first-year coach Butch Davis came to Miami with a vision and a plan. Problem is, it may take a while before he reaps what he sows. In accordance to NCAA rules, coaches can spend only 20 hours a week with their players. That includes practices and film sessions in the game. Now, that is tough for a young team, a young rebuilding team, and make no mistake, Miami is young. Tonight, 19 of the 22 starters on the field for the Hurricanes are underclassmen. 3 of those underclassmen are true freshmen. Sophomore quarterback Ryan Clement is making his first collegiate start. Needless to say, the Canes will have to grow up in a hurry. Gentlemen?
Well, that they will. Butch Davis, first meeting against Florida State since 1987. Of course, he was an assistant coach with Jimmy Johnson down with the Hurricanes. And on the other side of the field, Bobby Bowden. This is one of the few clubs that he has just simply not mastered. Miami, 6-13. His record against 2-8 in the last 10 meetings. Tony Gator, number 22, back as one of the deep men, along with Trent Jones, number 6. Bentley set to kick it off for Florida State, and we're underway. Gator, 3 yards deep. He will elect not to return it. So let's take a look at the Russell Athletics starting lineups for tonight. On offense, at quarterback, what a place to get your first start. But Ryan Clement, promise you, he's going to grow up very quickly tonight. He'll have to. The wide receivers, Yatil Green is the go-to guy. Averages over 20 yards per reception. And on the offensive line, Coach Keogh says his center, Casey Jones, is the best that he's ever coached at Miami, and he's been down there for 17 years. Jones in motion, but they go to Ferguson, hit in the backfield, and he's going to be knocked down for a 6-yard loss. Tyrant Marion is the man who penetrated and knocked him down for the loss. Defensively for Florida State, up front, extremely tough, as you just saw. Raynard Wilson, second on the team in tackles. The linebackers, finally they get Bush back. He's been injured. His was a knee. Todd Rebold back tonight. He was out for 2 games with an ankle injury. And in the secondary, the situation here, Marlon Green will start because free safety Sean Hamlet is playing hurt. We'll see him tonight, but Hamlet is going to have his knee scoped after the game. So a face mask on the play, and 5 yards stepped off against the Seminoles. Ferguson hit at the line of scrimmage, breaks off a tackle, has 5, has 10, counted off at 13, and Sean Hamlet, who we were just talking about, number 18, who will have his knee operated on after the ball game, is the man who makes the stop.
Ron, this is what they have to have. The Hurricanes need to run the football. Danielle Ferguson looks like he's going to be hit in the backfield by the linebacker Darrell Bush, but steps out of the tackle, picks up good yardage. Now this is a Florida State defense that's given up a lot of yards in the first few games.
North Carolina State, they scored 77 points on, and it looked as though they beat them badly, but they ran at will early. They just kept turning the ball over. This time at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. Sam Cowart will step up to plug the hole. Also, Connell Spain, number 96. As you look at Ryan Clement, and those are his numbers. He had to come in against VPI when Collins was injured. 16 of 32, 255 yards. And he will be greeted in the backfield by Carlos Joseph, a freshman out of Gainesville, a fullback. Where's number 40? They go with Joseph, spins off one tackle. He'll take it across the 40 to the 42, and it's Wilson who gets off the bottom of the pile, along again with 18, Sean Hamlet.
Talked to Ryan Clement yesterday on the field here as they walked through last night, and he said Gino Toretta gave him the best advice this week. He said treat the ball like it's gold. You know, avoid bad plays. And he said we have a chance to make some exciting things happen in this ball game. I like his attitude. I mean, he's ready to play.
Mikey had dinner with Gino this past week, and Gino said, first time I went up there and played, I threw interceptions. Don't do that.
Yeah, he said you can't play any worse than I did.
Well, Jay Ina was the first one to come out of the stance.
dead ball foul, false start on the offense, movement prior to the snap. It'll remain third down.
You try to prepare for noisy situations. Miami's been in a bunch of these games, though, so I don't think that should affect them this ball game. They jumped early here.
Mike, in the ball game that they had 2 weeks ago against Virginia Tech, they got just numerous penalties for the same thing. Offensive penalties of people not being set, going in motion too quickly. Draw play, Ferguson, big opening. Boy, he gets whacked just shy of the 45-yard line, and it's going to be fourth down at about 4 yards. And we expect to see Mike Chrissy come on to punt it away. And we might mention, as there is a standing ovation for the defense, Chrissy has not been without his problems punting. He averaged barely over 32 yards a kick against DPI.
And they have a defensive lineman, Denny Fortney, snapping, so we'll see how his snaps go as the game goes on, because he's going to be chasing Danny Cannell around.
Off the side of his foot, and not a very good kick. This is going to go dead at the 37-yard line. That's only a 20-yard boot into that wind. So let's check the starters for Florida State on offense. Danny Cannell, well, he played in this game last year, but he has another year under his belt, and quite frankly, he is the reason this offense is going so well. The wide receivers, it's a very good group, but Andre Cooper is the leading receiver. He averages just over 100 yards per outing. And the offensive line, well, it is a veteran group with the man in the middle, Clay Shiver. He's the leader, and a very good one. Play number 53, senior out of Tipton, Georgia. Florida State from that shotgun, and they set up a screen in the flat. Wow, what a hit. Earl Little came up from that cornerback spot and just obliterated the play. It'll go for a loss. Here are the starters for the Hurricanes. Kennard Lang, he was a preseason All-American. The linebackers, this is a very good group. Ray Lewis is the man in the middle. They say that he may be as good as they've had down there. And in the secondary, Tremaine Mack having to start tonight because of a neck injury to Dennis Scott. Cannell on top and way too long on that pass. Cooper is the man that he wanted.
Ron, Nick Ward, a freshman, is starting at the defensive back position for Miami, so they're going to pick on him. Now, he played high school football as a freshman and sophomore, didn't play as a junior, as a track athlete. They gave him a scholarship, but not until May. No one recruited him because they thought he was a track player. He's got his work cut out for him tonight.
He does. Carlos Jones is the fellow that normally starts over there. Direct snap. Goes to Dunn. Breaks the tackle, and then he gets whacked at the 37. He'll take it back to the initial line of scrimmage, but now Florida State is going to have to punt the ball right back to the Hurricanes.
A sword fight here early, trying to feel each other out. And the one thing about Miami, they got a lot of athletes that can run, so they can match the speed of Florida State. It's athlete versus athlete. There's nobody going to pound at each other.
Gator is the deep man. Liss, driving kick. His longest punt was 55. This is going to be the longest now. Good heavens. He banged that one about 62 yards. So let's take a break. No score. We'll be right back.
Every year we show you how the Isuzu Trooper is built to handle whatever life throws in your path. Over the years, we've refined the Trooper to make it even tougher and added new equipment to deal with fresh hazards. Well, after all these years of adding stuff to the Trooper, we thought it was time to take a little something off it. The price. Right now, you can get some of the best prices of the year during the great Isuzu clearance event. We didn't think you'd mind.
All right, gentlemen. Tomorrow, your butts are mine. Lights up.
Miss, I'm hungry.
Russell Athletic Wear is made to handle the toughest situations on and off the field.
Hot dog, French fries, hamburger, tacos grande, pizza.
Coach, going somewhere, ladies. Hard work, dedication, commitment.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Get up there, Lord, bud. Go, go.
Hello from Plank Road, where our man Paul is ready with a simple little demonstration. This is watered down. Ooh, not pretty. This is not watered down. This is Ice House. It's ice brewed, so there's never any watered down taste. And that's why Ice House is always so remarkably smooth when it's going down. So remember, watered down and not watered down. Ice House. Thanks and enjoy.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives, and by Russell Athletic. For really tough athletic wear that can survive anything, get Russell Athletic. Get tough. Chief Osceola on Renegade just prior to the ball game, and that is the normal procedure here at Tallahassee. There were so many photographers out there, they literally had people directing traffic, making sure they didn't get run over by a horse.
Hey, Ron, the first series, they really tried to protect Ryan Clement a little bit to get him into the ball game. They tried to run the football early, but that's got to be the game plan.
Ferguson with a handoff on the slant, and he'll take it out very close to the 25-yard line. Peter Boulware, sophomore out of Columbia, South Carolina, comes over to make the tackle.
Danielle Ferguson looks to me like he's at full speed. Ryan Clement wanted to go to Notre Dame. He said, I always wanted to go to Notre Dame from the day I can remember, but when it was time to go there, Ron Powlus was there, and I knew he was the heir apparent, so it came down to Florida and Miami, and he said, I just felt like Miami was my place.
Well, he will, as we said in the pregame, he will do a lot of quick growing up tonight in a place like this. He will not play in a more hostile environment than what he's seen here tonight in his first start. Throws the pass and has it incomplete. Dropped at the 26, and let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Ron, on the scoreboard show, we showed you the 40-24 Colorado loss to Kansas and told you that Coy Detmer played in portions of both halves, twice re-injuring himself, that time without contact. Word from Boulder, he will undergo surgery to repair the torn ligament. He is out for the remainder of the season. Ron?
What's a shame for Coy Detmer because he's such a competitor.
Yeah, and maybe that's what brought him back. Maybe he was too much of a competitor, Mike.
Maybe right.
Third down. The line to make is the 30. German loses the ball. It is recovered by Miami.
What a great effort by Omar Roll, number 9, because that football looked like it was going to go to Florida State.
It sure did. They're going to say that he was down short of the first down, and Roll really gave up his body on this play, and he limped off the field. So the Hurricanes will have to kick. Pressure, and they're coming after it. Gets it away, and again, this one's going to die coming into the wind. Fair catch, and now a flag is down at the 47 as Feaster had to make a running and diving catch.
This is the one thing when you play Florida State, you do not want to give them this good a field position because they do not have far to go for the score.
Holding. So it's a holding call against the Seminoles. So we'll take a break. No score. 9:23 left in this opening quarter.
When you're Barry Sanders, one of the quickest men in the NFL, some days it seems like no one can touch you. No one can catch you. No one can even come close.
Anyway, coming through. Man, how to make it easy. Sausage McMuffin with egg, 4-minute milers coming through.
Now you can convert $2 into 2 morning fresh sausage McMuffins with egg, or 2 hot, tempting quarter pounders with cheese. But the clock's ticking, so hurry.
Hey, look who's here. Hey, Louie, let's see. Slow-mo Joe.
Barry Sandbag.
Have you had your break today?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
The Trooper Limited from Isuzu is thoughtfully equipped with stuff like dual airbags and extra skid plates, so that you're always prepared no matter where you go.
You may already be a $10 million winner.
Even if it's just down to the corner and back. Right now, we're offering some of the best prices of the year on our 1995 Troopers.
My husband and I both work, but when there's a problem with the kids around the home, I'm usually the one to deal with it. But it's not just me they depend on. It's my income, too. If anything ever happened to me, State Farm can help make sure their future is secure. If you want to talk life insurance with somebody who knows what they're talking about and knows how to listen, talk to a State Farm agent.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Peyton Manning and the title-hungry Vols march south to Birmingham to tackle the Tide at Legion Field. Tennessee versus Alabama, next Saturday at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Art Keel, the offensive line coach of the Miami Hurricanes, talking to his offensive line. Mercier, number 62 there that we're moving by with the camera. He is a true freshman. Out of Montreal, Quebec. Mike, this time last year, he was playing prep school football.
Fishing, probably.
Actually, he's a skier and a very good competitive skier. Does trick skiing, 5th best in Canada a couple of years ago. Straight ahead with the handoff, Warwick Dunn. Weaving his way, breaks off a tackle, and he will be across the 40 and going to have a gain of about 7 yards in the play.
Danny Cannell, of course, is having a great year, and I talked to him about the Miami game last year because I really think he grew from that game. He said, when I walked off that field, I wanted to absorb the sickest feeling I could because I didn't ever want to feel like that again. And he said, that's in my mind in this ball game.
And everybody on that offensive line, everybody on the offense talks about his maturity in that last year. Pass over the middle, has it complete. E.G. Green on the receiving end, and that'll be good for the Seminole first down. Last year against Miami, remember these numbers, Mike? 3 interceptions and 1 particularly early. The Seminoles had driven right down the field, and he threw a bad interception.
And it was a week later at Clemson that they benched him in the 4th quarter, and really that's where he grew up a little bit because they told him, they said, we've got confidence in you. You're our quarterback. We're going to call the plays to you.
And they go with the draw play. Dunn weaving, getting to the 45, and the Seminoles are in Miami territory for the first time tonight as Eugene Ridgely comes up to make the stop, and also Lewis is there. Lewis, I mentioned it in the lineups tonight that Lewis could wind up being one of the best that Miami's ever had as you look at Ridgely. And, you know, Clay Schreiber said an interesting thing yesterday that he said, we have to be careful. He said, this guy is so good and so quick. He can make the tackle on every play, regardless of where you run it. Williams takes it right up the middle. Pooh Bear is close to the first down at the 42-yard line. James Burgess down in the bottom of the stack.
Ron, it's just a matter of time again till they challenge the freshman corner, Nick Ward, number 27. Miami will try to get extra DBs in the ball game to give him some help, but he's going to be isolated on the outside against some pretty good receivers.
And, of course, Florida State continuing to use this hurry-up offense. This time, Cannell goes under center with an I formation. And you can see the defense of Miami creeping up toward the line. Exactly where they went, Mike Gottfried. Messam on the catch, and it is a Florida State first down.
Well, they're getting a good cushion on the outside because they've been able to run the ball successfully. Now Miami has to try to stop the run, which puts the defensive backs on a little bit of an island. Earl Little out there against Wayne Messam. But you've got Andre Cooper, number 1. He's the long ball guy they like to go to, and he's working against Nick Ward.
Then breaks it to the outside. Able to have another Florida State first down as he gets cracked hard by Nick Ward, and Tremaine Mack was also there. And let's check in with Mike Adamley. Michael.
Well, Ron and Mike, the only way to watch a Florida State game on offense is with a stopwatch and a calculator. Some incredible numbers here. For instance, their average scoring drive, 1 minute and 43 seconds. Average play gain per play, nearly 8 yards. And then Florida State's 59.5 points per game is tops in the nation, which is great unless you're the Florida State defense. It is a concern for Bobby Bowden, a double-edged sword. The offense so good that the defense is on the field a little too often.
And Mike, we have already seen some real head crackers in this ball game tonight. Both teams want to get so involved. Terry Monk has just warned both clubs and told them they have to get back beyond the restraining line. Cannell on first down, deep over the middle, overthrown. E.G. Green is the man he wanted, and Tremaine Mack was trying to cover.
Tremaine Mack did a nice job on coverage there against E.J. Green. They're just trying to spread out the field and work those receivers one-on-one in the secondary. Danny Cannell trying to get the ball to number 19, E.J. Green, but very well covered by Tremaine Mack.
score. 6 minutes, 47 seconds left in this opening quarter. Dunn. Nothing, a tackle. He'll take it to the outside. Oh, what a comeback block he got. And he's inside the 15-yard line. Nick Ward will make the stop on him, and it's Andre Cooper, number 1, I believe, Mike, who came back and de-headed the defensive player.
You're right. It was Andre Cooper who comes back to block Tremaine Mack, number 3. You're going to see Andre Cooper. Now the good tackle by Nick Ward, the freshman, just trying to get in front of Ward Dunn.
Gain of 11 yards. And again, Florida State will not huddle. Mike, for your defense, how much of a problem does this cause as far as not being able to come back, huddle, and talk to each other? Out in the flat gun. They caught him in the blitz at the 5, at the 2, at the 1. It will be first and goal, Florida State, as Tremaine Mack knocked him out of bounds.
Ron, to answer your question, when you do not huddle, the defense never gets a chance to huddle either, so they really don't get a chance to encourage each other. That's number 1. The other thing is the quarterback has a good view for 25 seconds because you're always going to line up in what you're in, so it gives the quarterback a tip.
Yep, the guy who has already scored 8 running touchdowns, Clarence Pooh Bear Williams, has 9. Florida State's on the board.
The Pooh Bear's using that 283 pounds that he weighed in yesterday to get in that end zone. With some good blocks by Andre Cooper. You mentioned the 1. He came back in that last run by Ward Dunn and made a key block.
Scott Bentley in to attempt the extra point. Now flags everywhere.
Illegal substitution against the defense.
That's the other problem with the no huddle run. You get confused in your substitutions and getting people on and off. And even though it's an extra point, you really sometimes end up, sometimes with 10 on the field, sometimes with 12 on the field. You got to be really sharp in your substitutions.
Mike, I'm only counting 10 out there right now. What do you get?
11.
Bentley to the extra point, right down the middle. So we'll take a break. And we look at Pooh Bear scoring one more time. 6:12 left in his opening quarter. 7-0 Seminoles.
It's your life. Live it.
Don't just hope to be healthy. Decide to be. It's the new wave in healthcare, and we're here to help. We're Tallahassee Memorial.
It's your life. Take it. Make it all that you can make it. It's your life. It's your life. Living well.
If you're looking for something to shake up and spice up your life, HBO's gonna show you tonight. Together with Comcast, HBO's gonna show you tonight. Call Comcast and order HBO today. We'll put you in the fast lane.
The 3 laws of motion. 1. Bodies in linear motion will continue in a straight path unless acted upon by another force. 2. A direct relationship exists between acceleration and force. 3. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Of course, some events fall into the realm of chaos theory. A force best represented as ESPN 2.
So Florida State goes on top 7-0. ESPN is your home for college football again next Saturday. At 11:30 it starts with College Game Day. 12:30 Penn State takes on Purdue. 3:30 and 7 it scores and highlights. At 7:30 Tennessee marches into Alabama. And at 10:30 we put a period on the day. Butch Davis working with the defense on the sideline and talking about, it would appear, Mike, the blocking scheme that the Seminoles are using.
Well, the problem, we talked about the no huddle. They get you in certain defenses, and on that last defense, they had tried to play 6 people against the eye set, and they're 1 short, and that's the problem. Ward Dunn's a little bit tough to bring down in that situation.
10 plays, 64 yards, 3 minutes and 11 seconds as Bentley has it teed up at the 35-yard line. And he will kick it away to either Gator or Jones. This one is returnable. This is Jones at the 10. And he'll take it all the way out to the 31. Interesting story as you look at Clement coming on the field. Of course, Bentley is from Aurora, Colorado, and Ryan Clement is from the Denver area. And Bentley said, sure, you know, I knew all about him in high school, and he had some great praise for him and talked about he thought he will wind up being a very, very good quarterback at Miami. But he also said that Ryan Clement's mom works at a sporting goods company, and he orders socks from them. And he said, I got some coming. I hope she doesn't send orange ones. Derek Harris in motion. There's Clement to throw. Got his man wide open, Jamie German, and he will take it right up to midfield at the 49-yard line. Roll comes over to make the stop, and it's a gain of 17 yards.
A lot of poise by Ryan Clement to try to answer a score with a score, and he's got some weapons on his outside. You match Daniel Ferguson against Warwick Dunn, and you match the receiver, Jamie German and Littell Green. They're two as good as you're going to face all over the country. So he's got some weapons to work with also.
You look at Jamie German, number 7. He's now a junior, but when he was signed, he was going to be like the second coming. He was going to be the next Deion, except on the offensive side of the ball. As you see the running play, will go for a couple, and then Gator just disappears under the stack, and it's Andre Wadsworth who makes the tackle. German, it would appear, is getting close to stepping up to that mark that they expected. But, Mike, he ran at a coach's camp in high school coming out. A 4-1, like a 4-1-2 or something like that.
He was the player of the year in high school, coming out of high school, and he reminds me a lot of Derek Stiegel up at Georgia Tech. Young receivers that are going to blossom into great players.
Trent Jones is the setback this time. Second down. The pass. Misread there. Jatiel Green threw it behind him, and let's check in again with Mike Adamley. Mike, what do you have for us?
Ron, we know it is quarterback U. Miami certainly has produced a lot of great ones. Who does Ryan Clement most resemble?
Knowing the quarterbacks that have been in this program for the last 15 years and watching the Kellys and the Kozars and the Testaverdes, he most resembles to me Craig Erickson. He is a fierce competitor. He's got a tremendous amount of confidence. He's got a live arm, and he relishes challenges like this.
Well, right now he's got a challenge. It's third down, and if he wants to keep this drive going, they need to make the 40-yard line. Pass knocked down and almost intercepted. Samari Roll came up to knock it down. German, the intended receiver.
Just a quick 3-step out, but Florida State's in a very sound defense for this play. Samari Roll just does that, rolls up and knocks the ball away. Not a good play for the quarterback to throw that ball against that defense.
Chrissy tries to kick it away from Feaster, who calls for the fair catch and then runs away from it. And now the ball is going to go dead down close to the 10-yard line. 37 yards in the kick.
Catch NFL Game Day on Sunday when Boomer and the boys analyze the aching perfectionist, Troy Aikman, educating a rookie. And the Vikings' Robert Smith, long, strange trip. NFL Game Day Sunday, 11:45 a.m. sharp.
Well, Mike, Miami has moved the ball. Maybe better than Florida State thought they could early. I still think it is very important for them to get points in this first quarter.
Well, if they don't, they're going to get run out of here because Florida State's capable on every play of breaking it for long gains or long touchdowns.
Warwick Dunn is on the bench, and Rock Preston, number 24, comes in at the tailback spot. And that's who they go to. Preston, did he hold on coming out of bounds? Yes, they say he did. A catch, and he's out of bounds at the 14.
Florida State coaches talk about Rock Preston. They say he loves the game. He's a team jokester. He keeps everybody loose. Pretty good substitute to put in there for Warwick Dunn. Good hands, good concentration, bringing this football in for completion.
Yeah, you take out Dunn, who averages 10.7 a carry. Rock Preston averages 9.1 per carry. That's not too much drop-off, is it?
And they say they have a great young guy in D. Feaster, South Carolina, back of the year.
You see the handoff to Preston. Comes over the right side, running hard, and let's go to Mike Tirico. Michael, what do you have for us this time?
Ron, this McDonald's breakaway takes us to Berkeley, and Southern Cal may have two quarterbacks in Brad Otten and Kyle Wackholz. They're getting the job done. 13 touchdowns and 1 interception this year. This touchdown to Tyler Cashman, and the Trojans up 5.
So the Trojans, Mike, don't seem to be too distracted by what happened with them last week with the suspensions.
Mike Adamle was telling us he watched practice the other day at Southern Cal, thought they were a loaded football team.
Again, the tailback. And Preston, boy, there is really some good hitting going on in this football game. You see guys break it through, and then all of a sudden they just disappear. And it was Ray Lewis who made him disappear that time, along with Kennard Lang.
When you're good on offense, you're good because you have a good offensive line. This team was recruited offensive line-wise 5 years ago. Great experience. You look at 104 career starts by this offensive line compared to Miami's defensive line, a young defensive line.
Here comes the blitz. Florida State rolls the pocket, so they got single coverage, and they get it complete to E.G. Green, who's trying to break the tackle, and he's going to be stopped at the 37.
Great play call by Bobby Bowden, because when you are in the shotgun a lot, you like to get your quarterback movement and roll him out every now and then to change where the pocket and quarterback's going to be. Rolls out to the left, and they had a blitz called, and a great offensive call against the blitz to E.G. Green.
7-0 if you've just joined us. Florida State. We have 3:41 left in this opening quarter. And Cannell going to go on top, looking for Cooper, and the ball almost picked off. Coverage by Carlos Jones, who did not start tonight. He was benched to start the freshman Nick Ward. Carlos was beaten a couple of times in that BPI game.
But the coaches do not want to give up on him. They're going to give him another chance here tonight, and they're working Andre Cooper against him. Now, Andre Cooper has made so many of these basketball R.C. Owens leaping catches, almost made this one against Carlos Jones. You remember R.C. Owens, right? You could throw it to him all the time.
Yeah. Flag goes down. Cannell swings it out of the pocket. It's Preston, and that is a nice open field tackle by Twan Russell, the linebacker, junior out of Fort Lauderdale. Miami has always prided themselves in having such good, quick, their linebackers can run, and there's a good example right there.
Ron, you talk about quarterbacks here in Miami. John Stark, remember last year he was alternating. Mel Kiper's got him rated as the second best quarterback, maybe coming out in the draft. He's playing at Trinity now, college in Chicago and NAI school, having a great year. You got Thad Busby, who's the backup quarterback
formation on the offense. Didn't have 7 men on the line. Repeat second down.
And I think that Busby's going to be a great player here and a great pro. And then you've got Kendra, who came in here as a high school phenom. So they've got so many quarterbacks. And, of course, John Stark now, he transferred, so he's playing at Trinity.
Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. We'll get into that more in just a bit as the pass almost picked off. And that was a nice job by Carlos Jones. He really played possum, played off on it, and then broke very quickly and almost made the intercept.
Well, they're working on Carlos Jones now. I figured they'd work on the freshman Nick Ward, but they're going to work on this position all night because Carlos Jones, as you said, was beaten twice against Virginia Tech. But he really does a nice job with his left hand here, deflecting the ball away from Andre Cooper.
Well, this is going to be a holding call against Florida State, and the Seminoles are moving in the wrong direction on this drive. So with the penalty, it moves it back just short of the 13-yard line. And it is going to be second down, and the line to make is all the way out at the 46. Cannell scrambling, just throws that one away. Threw it at the feet of Rock Preston. I don't think he was trying to complete it as Kenny Holmes was all over it.
Kenny Holmes may be their best defensive lineman here, but the problem with Miami this year is they do not have a dominating defensive lineman like a Cortez Kennedy, Jerome Brown, Russell Maryland, Warren Sapp. They do not get that. They're not getting that play out of their front four. So people are singling their front four, and they're able to get to their linebackers a little bit this year. They need play out of Kennard Lang and Kenny Holmes tonight.
Mike, look at this. It's a 3rd and 33, and look how the secondary and the linebackers are playing. They are in center field all the way back to the 35-yard line. 3-man rush. Cannell has the ball knocked out of his hands. He can still throw this thing, puts it in the air, and it's just overthrown. Messam is the man that he wanted. Kennard Lang was applying pressure, and the one who knocked the ball out of the hand of Danny Cannell.
Kennard Lang coming from that defensive end position, slaps the ball away from Danny Cannell. Now he wisely picks it back up, tries to get the ball to Wayne Messam. Almost had a big play, but penalties killed that drive for Florida State.
Sean Liss, his last kick was 62 yards. And Miami's coming after him, and they block it right up the middle. It is recovered for a Miami touchdown. Trent Jones is the man who picked it up and took it into the end zone.
That's what they needed in this ball game, Ron, because they need confidence. They're coming off a 1-2 record here, lost tough game to UCLA and Virginia Tech. They needed success in this first quarter. You mentioned it earlier. They needed points not to get run out of here. A good special teams play by Miami.
Trent Jones, of course, is one of the two deep men on kick returns, but he also was on special teams on the punt cover team, and he got in and picked up the ball that had been blocked.
Miami's short men out there right now for the extra point. But I think this is a circle the wagon game for Miami. They need to play well in this ball game because everybody's kind of down on them a little bit, and you don't expect Miami to be 1-2. Expectation level so high. Bobby Bowden now trying to figure out that protection on the punt. What awry on that?
Well, a little payback for this guy, Tremaine Mack. You remember last year, Mike? He was the guy who snapped a couple of those balls that they had problems on their kick team. And so tonight he gets a block. Trent Jones scores the touchdown on special teams.
There's some saying about payback that Tremaine Mack really just bursts through and blocks this punt.
Had a delay of game, as you mentioned. They were having trouble getting enough special team folks on the field because of the excitement on the sideline. And very patiently, Dane Pruitt is lining up to kick this one, attempted back beyond the 15-yard line. Bobby Bowden knows full well that in this rivalry, this ball club, Miami, for instance, in the last 12 meetings, Mike, Florida State has led 9 times going into the fourth quarter. Miami's won 6 of those games. Nobody has handled Florida State that well.
No, and this has been a tough series for him.
He is perfect. So we're tied at 7 as you look at Mack, and Mike, let's take another look at it.
A redemption for Tremaine Mack. Number 3, you're going to see him come free, and it's just a busted blocking assignment by Florida State. But you're right when you say, Ron, here's a guy last year that was maligned for a bad snap, maybe a coverage problem, also a blocking problem by Miami last year, but he is able to come back in here, start this year in the defensive back position, and block this punt in the first quarter here, recovered by Trent Jones. Big series for Miami.
So let's look at this last series for Florida State. They had 3 penalties. Danny Cannell did fumble the football. He did pick it up and get the pass away, but they had a 3rd and 33. Jeopardy that they got themselves in, and now all of a sudden, because of those mistakes, Miami's on the scoreboard, and we're all even again with 2:52 left in the opening quarter.
And Miami's got enough speed and enough skill to match the skill and speed of Florida State. They may be one of the only teams in the country with the same type of speed. Florida probably has that same speed. Nebraska now on defense.
Bobby Bowden chewing that gum a little harder and across the way. Butch saying, well, we want to win the first half or at least play even.
Well, Butch Davis brought Joe Avisano, the Dallas Cowboys special teams coach, in, so it paid off. And he worked with their staff.
Going to be picked up by Jermaine Green. And he loses the ball, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be Florida State's ball at the 18. And Mike Adamley, let's go back to you.
You know, Ron and Mike, all week long, Bobby Bowden has praised Miami with good reason. The Canes have broken his heart too many times. Miami has handed the Seminoles its first loss 9 times. 4 of those times it was their only loss, costing them 4 possible national championships. And a lot of tears have been shed here in Tallahassee. Miami's record 10-3.
Well, you know, you would say that the Hurricanes, with the team of the 80s, the way they played, But Florida State was 2 wide rights away from being the team of the 80s.
Oh, you're right.
2 field goals. This time from the I formation in the running play. Gunn will be short of the 20-yard line.
Bobby Bowden said Miami's ticking. They're just not clicking, you know, and they're still kicking. And Chuck Amato, their defensive coach, told us at dinner the other day, he said they're like a time bomb ready to go off. They got great talent.
Cannell with the no huddle. Second down, the line to make is out at the 27. Gunn again up the right side, sneaking his way out over the 30-yard line, and it'll be a first down plus about 6 yards.
Warwick Dunn came into this game tonight averaging 10 yards a carry. And he is off to a good start. A quarterback in high school. He was an option quarterback.
Mike Carroll, all the upsets today. If you want to know where the big things happen today, take a look.
At Texas Tech, Zach Thomas with an interception as the game was winding down. Big win for North Carolina.
Dunn hanging on for dear life is Ray Lewis, and he will stop the play just across the 35-yard line. One of the things Bobby Bowden also will tell you is after last year's Sugar Bowl game, he looked at his defense and said, we're going to have 7 guys coming back. He didn't think those 2 juniors would go out. They did. Well, they did. Then they were down to 5. Then 3 of the other regulars got hurt, and they wound up in a situation as Rock Preston just drops the football that they had about 1 returner that had started last year at the end of the year on defense. That's another reason they've struggled on that side of the football. Injuries and new faces. Rock can't believe it. He dropped that one, but just wanting to see where he could run with the football before he caught it.
He had some space also. He would have been able to pick up 5 to 10 yards.
But that's what speed does to you. Draw play to Preston. At the 40, dragging a tackler with him to the 41-yard line.
Now you come right back in. Punting again. Here's the draw out of the shotgun to Rock Preston, trying to pick up the first down. Hubert Williams leading the blocking. Now you're in the same situation. You come back after it again with Tremaine Mack.
Let's see.
They're in a punt safe.
Yep. Oh, and he just booms this one. Fair catch is called for and made by Tony Gator. That's a 51-yard kick down at the 7-yard line.
From one big rivalry to another. Next week we'll be in Birmingham as Peyton Manning leads Tennessee up against the Crimson Tide. The Volunteers are number 10. Alabama is number 16. The battle starts at 7:30 next Saturday night.
Birmingham, Alabama. Always a fun place to witness a football game, Mike.
Both coming off wins today. That'll be some kind of atmosphere in Birmingham.
Crowd trying to get the Seminole defense fired up. Those Miami scrimmages from their own 7. Gator hit in the backfield. Second, McMillan hit in the backfield. And knocked down by Connell Spain. Spain already has 3 fumble recoveries this early part of the season.
Miami coaches like McMillan, number 28. A young tailback that they think is going to be really special.
Clock is down to 9, and that is going to be the final play of this opening quarter. So that's the end of the first quarter with our score. Miami 7 and Florida State 7.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score.
A spirit of teamwork. That's what makes the Home Depot proud to be a sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games in Atlanta and the 96 Paralympic Games. We're also proud to have Lawn Boy as a member of our Home Depot Olympic family. Lawn Boy is America's most trusted name in quality lightweight lawnmowers. Striving to be the best is the mark of Lawn Boy and of Home Depot, helping to bring the games to America.
instead of looking back at Kelly Springfield's long, rich history, we prefer to look ahead. And we recommend that you do the same. Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company.
Wrangler jeans have always been worn by cowboys. But nowadays, even horses wear them. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Wrangler, the perfect jean for your 10-year-old son. And your 10-year-old husband. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Tending your land, getting your hands back in the soil, working with the sun on your back. Could anything be more rewarding?
Yeah, paying someone else to do it for you. Like Ned, Joe, and Tom. That's what Visa Gold's for, with enough purchase power to turn your yard green. And what could be more relaxing than mowing it yourself? Paying Al. Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
Every year we show you how the Isuzu Trooper is built to handle whatever life throws in your path. Over the years, we've refined the Trooper to make it even tougher and added new equipment to deal with fresh hazards. Well, after all these years of adding stuff to the Trooper, we thought it was time to take a little something off it. The price. Right now, you can get some of the best prices of the year during the great Isuzu clearance event. We didn't think you'd mind.
Miami 7 and Florida State 7.
Ron, to win this game tonight, you need play out of your front four. They need to own the line of scrimmage. So far in this ball game, Miami with 5 tackles out of their front four and 2 quarterback pressures having the better of the game.
Well, and that had the tackle position particularly because of injury and also youth had been really suspect in early games. But they have played well tonight. Setting in his own end zone, Clement, and he's got a man out there, and he had to catch it out of bounds. Jateel Green, as the ball just kept drifting on Clement.
That was intended for number 87, Jateel Green.
Florida State on defense likes to pop the 2 defensive ends and really get pressure from the outside. And they're going to get pressure on Ryan Clement on this play. They're coming from so wide. But he had a lot of time to try to find this receiver down the field, Jateel Green, but just threw the ball out of bounds.
Well, it's a good thing he threw it out of bounds because it would have broken their heart. They have just been called for offensive holding. And it looks like Florida State, though, has declined the penalty.
Because of where the ball's at, They wouldn't get many yards, so they'll just take the down.
So it's going to be a 3rd down. And the line to make to keep this drive alive is out at the 18. Trent Jones, the only setback. Zings it too tall. Green is the man that he wanted. Capers with the cover.
Now you got Florida State's got Miami in the same position they had to reverse in to go for the punt block here.
Go after him?
Go right after him. Got a defensive lineman making the snaps in Denny Fortney, number 99. He's been chasing, playing defense all the time. Go after the punt.
He got it away. Not a good pick, but Feaster on the run makes the catch at the 35, at the 25, and it will be 1st down inside the 23-yard line. Ridgely on the special team.
Excuse me, Ron. Sometimes you don't block the kick, but sometimes when you pressure a kick, you get the same result. You get a low-line drive, and that's exactly what Florida State was able to get out of that punt rush.
Mike, as we're watching some of the things going on the Florida State sideline, the first quarter stats, total yardage, Florida State 116, Miami 50. But the thing that absolutely blows me away, yards passing, Miami 21, Florida State only 30 yards.
They have really held the passing game in check. You just figure it's a matter of time till Andre Cooper and E.G. Green become key players in this offense.
Miami fake blitz, they stay at home, swing pass to Dunn. And he will take it to the 18-yard line. Twan Russell makes the stop, and Nick Ward might have been fortunate he didn't get a spearing call there as he put the top of that headgear on him on the ground.
This is not as easy as it looks for Twan Russell. When you get Ward done, that's like a pitch out where he's got the ball. But a good tackle by Twan Russell, number 45, in open space. That is difficult.
Pressured out of the pocket. He's going to run. Hit by Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker. And it's going to be 2 yards short of the first down at the 15.
You go back to the national championship year. If that would have happened, Charlie Ward would have been in the end zone. And that's maybe the big difference in the quarterbacks. Danny Cannell is an excellent thrower, but not a mobile quarterback that's going to run the ball up the field. Ray Lewis, the excellent middle linebacker with a tackle.
Let's keep an eye on Messam if they don't run the football, because he's 6'4" against that 5'9" corner that Miami has on that side. Throw it over the middle, dropped by the tight end Pearsall, and I'm not so sure that he didn't get that one tipped just before it got there by Lewis.
Ray Lewis with good coverage on Melvin Pearsall. Miami, remember now, they've only had one game in the last 4 weeks, so they've had a lot of time to prepare for this football game. Two things could happen. One, you could come out sluggish when you haven't played many games and you've had that open date, but I think Miami has really done a nice job in scouting Florida State's film.
Well, Bentley to attempt this one from the 22-yard line. His longest of the year is 28, so this one a 32-yard attempt, and by golly, he missed it. Folks, consider this. That return of a punt came back to the 22-yard line. They had a 1st and 10, and they come away with nothing. We'll be right back.
Only one has the moves of Barry Sanders. Only one has his acceleration. Only one has his control. Only one has such breathtakingly perfect balance. Seville STS with the North Star system. A great performer creates a higher standard.
I've always wanted to do this. With NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV, you get up to 13 regular season games live every Sunday. So if Washington is blowing out the Bucs, just switch to the 49ers Saints game. But hey, is Emmitt Smith breaking the rushing record? Are the Giants crushing the Eagles? You get it. Not on cable, but with DirecTV and this. Now that's a game plan. To get NFL Sunday Ticket on the 18-inch DSS dish of your choice, call 1-800-DirecTV.
Roll into Pep Boys right now and get a full set of 4 70,000-mile tires for just $169. That's any size, any 4 70,000-mile tires in stock for just $169 at Pep Boys now.
Most new car radiators are made of thin, lightweight aluminum under tremendous stress. Protect your car in the Prestone Zone against corrosion and temperature extremes. It's your car. Protect it in the Prestone Zone.
ESPN's presentation of CFA Primetime is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. And by DirecTV, introducing personalized TV. In 1993, Florida State beat Miami, and Charlie Ward carried the Seminoles to a national championship. Florida State defeated Nebraska 18-16 in the Orange Bowl, and that gave Bobby Bowden his only national championship.
Ron, you were exactly right. If you would tell someone that Florida State was going to get the ball on, what, the 22-yard line and come away empty, when they were scoring 70 points a game and averaging 60 points and to come up empty, that was a big win for the Miami defense.
As long as this game continues to go and we're tied, more and more confidence for that young Miami football team. Oh, my goodness. Hit in the backfield, and McMillan has no place to go as Wadsworth steps up and knocks him down for the loss. But the defense is saying, okay, guys, we're going to help take over this contest just like we have in years past.
A lot of times in the pregame warm-up, you got to watch your players when you're out as a coach. Here's Ray Lewis that was on the field. Scott Bentley was kicking down there, and they were giving him an earful. They actually asked him to leave and go down the other end because Miami did have that into the field, but may have rattled him a little bit.
second down and about 13. Play action by Clement goes on top, and he just overthrows it. He had Saeed Tucker out there, and a flag is down.
I think it's going to be a hold because it looked like one of the Miami offensive linemen going to be caught for holding.
Holding on the offense.
Miami has had some open receivers. Ryan Clement just a little long in the throws.
Also, where they're throwing from right now, Mike, he's got that stiff breeze behind him, so any ball that you try to put a little air under is going to wind up with too much air.
And when you're Larry Coker, who's the offensive coordinator for Miami, you do not want to give that ball back to them again on the 23-yard line, so you've got to try to find a way to get a first down. You cannot keep giving Florida State the ball inside the 50-yard line. They're going to eventually make you pay for it.
So Florida State's going to turn this holding call down as well, and it's 3rd down and 13. Clement, by the way, has missed his last 5 passes. See what they come up with. McMillan is the deep man in the eye behind Carlo Joseph. Pressure, Clement, and he does the smart thing. You don't want to be a hero when you got Wilson hanging on you or anybody else, and he'll take the sack.
That's a wide rush again. Renard Wilson, he's beaten the offensive tackle. By widening that far, you know, the offensive tackle has to get off the ball. Here's number 55, Renard Wilson. See, he just beats the tackle from the start. That's Curlin Blaze. Curlin Blaze has to get more depth and try to meet him a little farther back in the offensive backfield. But a wise move by Ryan Clement.
Well, let's see if Florida State comes after him again or if they have the return on it.
I'd go after it again.
Good snap, and he gets it away. This one trying to turn over, and interference with the receiver right here. That's going to be a penalty against Nathaniel Brooks of the Miami Hurricanes. And you see Butch, he says he got a push from behind. Don't penalize me because my man got pushed into him.
There's no flag on the play.
Butch Davis got that call.
Was blocked into the circle. Therefore, there's no penalty on the play.
That's exactly what Butch Davis was saying. He got blocked into the man. So we'll take a break. 11:42 left in the first half. We are tied.
Here, listen up, mate. If any one of you can hit a bullseye, I'll buy you a steak dinner. Did I say bullseye? I meant a triple 20. Did I say triple 20?
For a meal that hits the spot every time, get to Outback Steakhouse.
Did I say blindfolded?
My, what big ears you have.
All the better to hear you with, my dear.
And what big eyes you have.
The better to see you with, my dear.
Real red, real smooth. Red Wolf.
My, what big teeth you have. What are they for? Oh, my.
Follow your instincts.
Rarely does someone go where no one has gone before. Rarely does someone accomplish what has never been accomplished before. Rarely does an automotive system achieve a combination of advantages never achieved before. But when it does, the world tries to follow. The North Star system by Cadillac, creating a higher standard.
Peyton Manning and the title-hungry Vols march south to Birmingham to tackle the Tide at Legion Field. Tennessee versus Alabama, next Saturday at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Tied at 7. Let's go back and look at a replay. Was the head coach's lobby, was he correct, or did he just do a good job for his player?
Well, that push came 10 yards downfield. Now, he does try to miss him right here, but that should have been a 5-yard penalty for interference of the deep man, Feaster, to catch the ball. Anyway, so penalty was called off, and it'll be a first down at the 46-yard line. Field position, Mike, has been very important in this ball game when you consider Florida State getting much the better of it, but they have not taken advantage of it.
They have not been able to put the points on the board against this Miami defense. They're making some good moves out there. They're doing some good defensive calls. Penalties have hurt Florida State also.
Yeah. Shiver with a snap, and they give it to Preston. Preston hit right at the line of scrimmage, and that's Nelson Smith. And again, it is a defensive lineman who stops the play. And in the early ball games for Miami, that has not been the case. Now, with this kind of play out of the defensive lineman, then the linebackers don't have to worry about trying to do too much and do something that takes them out of where they're supposed to be.
They're getting good play out of the front four. Front four really is doing a good job against this veteran offensive line of Florida State.
Preston out of the backfield. Holds on to the football and is going to be pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line by Carlos Jones.
Been the most successful play for Florida State, just flare in the back. Warwick Dunn or Rock Preston out of the backfield because the linebackers are really trying to work hard underneath the wide receivers, so they're getting depth. And once that ball's dropped off to Rock Preston, then they have to come up and make that open field tackle.
Florida State again with the no huddle. 11:06. Left until halftime. Tied at 7, first down, Seminole.
Here's what I'm talking about, Danny Cannell. For 25 seconds, he's looking at the defense. He gets to see exactly what they're in and what they're going to do to it.
Direct snap to Preston. Breaks it open up the middle. Cuts it back to the sideline down to the 22-yard line. 13 yards on the play.
Just a direct snap to Rock Preston. Trying to control this front four a little bit because of the pass rush. Good block by Clay Shiver, the offensive center, number 53, and Rock Preston's in the secondary.
Dunn back in the ball game. From behind Kenny Holmes, ball is loose, and they say incomplete pass. Kenny Holmes, the junior out of Gifford, Florida.
They're playing like the Miami front four of old. Kenny Holmes, number 90. Working against Jesus Hernandez, number 77. Gives him a little move, then hits Danny Cannell in the back. Stripping the football. Junior defensive end.
So it's second down. Cannell right over the middle. Has it complete. That's E.G. Green, and let's check in again with Mike Adamley. Mike?
Well, Ron, you guys were talking about Miami's defensive line woes. They recruited 10 defensive tackles in 91 and 92. Only 3 are left. Now, Marvin Davis just had knee surgery. Kenny Holmes moved to defensive end. Jay Ina is now the starting right offensive tackle. 4 others left the program. 1 never enrolled to begin with. Warren Sapp, of course, left early to sign with the NFL, and Patrick Riley used up his eligibility and is now playing with the Cleveland Browns. It's the kind of problems that Butch Davis is dealing with.
Well, you could hear the poo-poo as Pooh Bear Williams, number 22, comes into the lineup. But he's a blocker on this play, and Dunn tries to get outside in the speed of Ray Lewis. Nothing there, as he'll drop him for a loss, and now 4th down.
That's why he is one of the best middle linebackers in the country. And his front four is playing well tonight, so he's able to scrape off and make the play against Warwick Dunn. Speed negates speed, and he has a lot of speed at the linebacker spot.
So Bentley comes on, and he missed the one a moment ago from 32 yards. This one will be from 34. He got this one. So Bentley from the other side of the field, a better angle for a right footer, and he knocks it home, and it's a 10-7 Florida State lead.
He hit that one good. Yeah, I mean, hit it well right off the bat.
10-7, Florida State goes on top. We haven't said a lot about the Storm
that occurred earlier this week, but there certainly were some distractions in this area as far as the kids are concerned. And you have to wonder, besides the fact that Miami is playing very, very well tonight, if Bobby did not have the same focus with his kids that he might have had, because mid-part of the week, everybody was on the telephone trying to call their family and loved ones and make sure that they were doing okay.
And I think add to that the fact that everybody thought they were an 18-point favorite coming into this ball game. Sometimes you can take it, you start to believe those things. You start to believe that you're 18 points better, but you have to prove it on the field. And Bobby Bowden tried to get his attention of his team all week. He knew he was going to get the best shot of Miami. It was a circle-the-wagon ball game for this Hurricane football team.
You know, E.G. Green comes from down at the Fort Walton Beach, which is down in the exact area where the storm came through. He didn't get in touch with his parents for a long time. He was very worried. But I asked him in the practice field on Thursday if he still had a home, and he said, yeah, but some folks around us were not quite as fortunate. Lindley's kick is going to come down at the 7 to Tony Gator. Well, ESPN's coverage of the Senior PGA Tour, the Trans-America, continues tomorrow, 5 o'clock with the final round, and in the lead, Bruce Summerhays, 9 under par, tied with Trevino, Ben Smith, John Bland, what a story he is out of South Africa, and Walter Morgan at 8 under par. 5 o'clock Eastern Time, final round coverage of the Trans-America. .152 Florida State, Miami 42. But the blocked kick has kept the Hurricanes in this football game. Ferguson will get the carry. First one in a while. Gets a lead block and then is hit by Darrell Bush, the sophomore out of Altamont Springs.
Darrell Bush, when I talked to Ronnie Cottrell, the linebacker coach, he said his nickname is Death Row because he takes everything so deadly serious. He's a 4-point student. He's the key to this defense. He just scrapes outside, makes the tackle on Danielle Ferguson.
You know, Mike, he led the team in tackles last year as a freshman. And then he had to have his knee scoped just 3 weeks ago, so they're just getting him back. And you can tell in that replay, he's still a half step behind what he was.
September 14th, he had that knee surgery, and he's back here playing tonight against Miami.
Well, as you look at number 44, his counterpart there, Todd Rebold, number 48, is just coming back from an ankle injury.
Reminds the coaches of Jack Lambert, Mike Singletary, that type of player. His eyes into the ball game. He's an emotional guy. But he is the glue that keeps this defense together.
McMillan will be the tailback. Third down. Miami needs to take it to the 33 to keep this drive alive. Flag goes down, and on the running play, they are very close to the first down as Capers comes up to make the stop. And now let's check the marker. Let's see, McMillan, nope, where they're spotting it, he will not have the first.
Illegal formation on the offense.
The official coming over to talk to Butch Davis and tell him about the alignment, if it was only 6 men on the line of scrimmage or who the movement came from. You would think that they would turn it down because according to where it was, the run did not pick up the first down.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Penalties declined. Fourth down.
So what Butch Davis was waiting for before he sent the special teams on was to see if the play had been negated. He didn't want to have the kicking team out there if they were going to have to run third down again. Mike Chrissy. And he'll be kicking away to D. Feaster. Florida State's coming after him. This is his best kick of the night. Feaster retreating and makes the fair catch back inside the 25, and there is a flag down at the 23 on the other end.
I think it's going to be a first down for the Miami football team.
Running into the kicker against the receivers.
Well, that was Wadsworth. Number 85, watch him.
You got a point that you're going to go to, and you ask your defensive people when they're trying to block kicks, never leave your feet, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Andre Wadsworth leaves his feet, runs into the kicker, Mike Chrissy, and keeps the drive alive for Miami. Never leave your feet, Ron. You've always got to be able to go in under control and then try to veer away from the kicker.
So Chrissy says, I gave up my body for the team, and now we have a first down. It's 10-7 if you've just joined us. Florida State. 7:42 left until halftime.
Nobody asked him how he was. They just said, hey, great job.
Right.
Hey, great job, buddy. I don't care if you're hurt. Just we got a first down.
2 of 8 for Ryan Clements, 21 yards. They go with the draw play, and there is nothing there. Daniel Ferguson, as soon as he got the football, was covered up by Wilson, one of the first men through.
I think in the last couple series before, we said Miami's defensive front was getting the best of this game. Florida State's defensive front now is really starting to rev it up, and especially Renard Wilson, number 55. Had a big sack a little while ago. Now he's hitting Danielle Ferguson in the backfield. So the front four of Florida State's starting to heat it up.
Well, Todd Rebold, one of the linebackers, told me yesterday as we visited, that he said, you know, hey, it's our time. We've got to step up. We have not played up to our capacity on defense, and we need to pick up the slack. Ferguson breaks the tackle, goes to the 40, and will take it to the 41-yard line.
I like the play call by Larry Coker because he's not trying to put the game on Ryan Clement just yet. Good mix in the offense, not trying to get him in real long situations. Instead, giving the ball to Danielle Ferguson, number 1. Sean Hamlet, the safety, who came in this game a little injured tonight.
Interesting that both of those safeties, Sean Hamlet and Robert Hammond, both with knee injuries. And as we mentioned, Hamlet will be scoped after this game tomorrow. They swing it out in the flat. That's Gator. Mickey Andrews almost got who was the recipient of one of his defensive players' hits.
He'd take it, because that was pretty good pursuit by his linebackers and his defensive backs to make that play. Byron Capers, number 23, eventually in on the tackle.
So Chrissy again comes out to punt.
The amazing stat right now, Ron, 54 yards passing by Florida State all.
Florida State with the return on, and Feaster from the 19. Tried to find a lane, got a little bit of a crack as he'll take it out to the 30. And that's a 36-yard punt. 11 on the return. Let's take a break. 6:08 left until halftime. Seminoles by 3.
Hey, isn't it about time to put a Dodge Country Dodge in your garage? Hi, I'm Clay Russell here from Dodge Country in Tallahassee to tell you about our year-end clearance sale. With Dodge Neon starting at only $99 a month. Custom conversion vans with rebates to $2,000. Interest rates as low as 1.9%. And the all-new truck and caravan make us just plain tough to beat. So stop by and let us show you why selection, service after the sale, and our willingness to make your kind of a deal has kept us the #1 Dodge dealer in North Florida.
We've helped you build a future.
Welcome to the home of hometown banking from the FMB family of banks. Located in Tallahassee, Monticello, Thomasville, and Pavo.
We'll be there.
Founded nearly 100 years ago, FMB banks are locally owned, locally managed, safe, and the friendliest in town. When you need a bank, we'll be there.
We'll be there for all the days in your life.
Feeling now, huh, Joe? Yeah, watch the bottom of the deck. Hey, Art, did you ever have turf toe? What the hell is that?
Hey, Art, how about a hip point? I got no hips.
Art, have you ever had your anterior cruciate removed?
What the hell are you talking about, Joe? Art, everybody's got a cruciate. Oh, really? Back when I played, we didn't have any cruciates. Sounds like something to eat.
10-7, Florida State by 3.
Keys tonight, Miami has to rush. They got 34 yards rushing. And the passing yards for Florida State, who would have ever figured in this second quarter they'd only have 54 yards passing?
Well, Mike, add this one along with that 34 that the Hurricanes have rushing. In this quarter alone, on 6 carries, the Hurricanes have 3+ yards, and that's it.
Let's see what they can add to that 54 here with 6:08 on the clock.
Florida State, the #1 scoring team in the nation, had been averaging 59.5 points a ball game. And we have 6:08 until halftime, and they have 10 right now. Takes it to his fullback and just overthrows Dunn. Well, Mike, that's not characteristic of the way he's been playing this year.
No, he's high on some of his throws on the outside. 9 out of 18, just 54 yards.
Cannell has only hit 3 of his last 10 passes. Dunn bounces outside on the right, puts a head down, and he will finally be stopped by Tremaine Mack. But it's all the way out at the 44-yard line, and that's a Florida State first down.
Well, Danny Cannell looks over the line of scrimmage. What he's trying to figure out is there's 6 people against my offensive line, and here's what he's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. So that becomes a running situation for him because he's got his offensive line and he's got his fullback, Pooh Bear Williams. So he's got a good match there, and then Ward Dunn sneaking into the secondary.
Williams right up the middle, has 5, counted off at 10. It'll be another Seminole first down. As Clarence Pooh Bear Williams, who scored earlier tonight, has 9 running touchdowns this year.
Pooh Bear on a quick handoff. He's in the secondary, and we talked about this, Mike Adamley. He eats from the 4 food groups. I'll let Mike Adamley tell you about that a little later.
Let me tell you what Shiver said yesterday, the center. He said he was weighing 296. When we called his number, he said, I can tell you right now, we hit and stayed low because 296 hurts from behind. Mike Adamley, what more do you have?
Hey, Coach, it's okay. You could have done it. But basically what he was trying to say is that he was explaining his weight as the reason for it, that he eats too much from the 4 basic food groups. Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Burger King, and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, my. The Shiver said if you get stood up by a defensive lineman and he runs into your back, he said you're in the training room the entire next week. Cannell on top. Oh, what a catch by Messam. Goes up over the top, and that is that athletic ability. His vertical leap got to be close to 40.
Danny Cannell just puts the ball up for grabs. He knows he's got some pretty tall wide receivers. Wayne Messam, 6'4", working against Earl Little at the corner spot. Just put the ball up for grabs, and Wayne jumps up, makes the catch.
Pass to the near side, and that is complete to Philip Riley.
Here's the catch where he just puts the ball up, the alley-oop. R.C. Owens alley-oop for Wayne Messam, and he makes the catch over Earl Little. Uses that 6'4" frame.
And you know, Earl is going to go back and look at that video and say, I couldn't have covered him any better. If I'd have come back and bumped him, it would have been interference.
More and more big receivers playing in college football, and you're going to have to recruit some taller defensive backs.
Mike Tirico, let's check with you.
I've got a tall receiver for you for Southern Cal. Keyshawn Johnson. He's been held in check by Cal in relative terms. 4 catches, 52 yards. He's looking for over 100 for the 13th straight game. Right now, the Trojans lead by 12.
Thanks, Michael. You know, it's a good point as far as cornerback. You've got to be a little taller in this day and age. Cooper in the end zone. Touchdown, Florida State. Just turned Carlos Jones around. Cannell's got to be seeing finally. He'll hold on the extra point attempt by Bentley. 3:49 until halftime, and that'll do worlds for this Florida State offense is that extra point was a little wild, but it was there, and it's 17-7.
Well, we talked about smaller corners, and I wasn't kidding when I said you're going to have to recruit a little taller corners as the college football game's changing a little bit with these taller receivers. But this is just, again, the ball's up for grabs. Andre Cooper against Carlos Jones. Andre Cooper just times it right, goes up for the football, and makes the catch against Carlos Jones. He's a basketball player recruited here at Florida State. Makes that catch. When you look at pro football, you look at the Michael Irvins and how the Dallas Cowboys, the taller receivers, how well they're doing. Harper. Guys with size on the outside put you in a bind when you get in those one-on-one situations.
So Jones was victimized there. We mentioned that he did not start tonight, but he was victimized last week against VPI. The one long pass did not go for a touchdown, but it went to the 1-foot line. And there was another one that was called back that was thrown over the top of him. So the coaches know that the ability is there, but you just got to get his head in the ball.
Well, they were trying to get his attention by starting Nick Ward, but I think you'll see a little bit more Nick Ward here when they get back on the field, because they're going to try to get his attention once again.
Bentley's kick into this win. This is going to be returnable by Gator. Runs across the field and gets tripped up at the 21-yard line. And Mike Tirico, what do you have this time?
Just a reminder that coming up at halftime, as we've been talking about, Upset Saturday. Nearly half the top 12 lost today. We'll show you how it happened, and we'll also relive the milestone as Eddie Robinson won game number 400 as a head coach. See you at halftime. Ron?
Okay, Michael, we look forward to that. 3:40 left in this one until halftime, and it's now a 10-point Florida State lead. Clement over the middle and knocked away, and now here comes two flags. That's going to be pass interference called against Florida State. As Troy Saunders, I believe, was holding on to him or put the left hand in his back.
Yeah, it looked like contact all the way on the receiver by Saunders. You see number 4, Saunders, but he's making a collision right there with Teal Green.
Just wrapped him up with that left hand around his waist.
That changes your strategy a little bit, too, if you're Butch Davis, because now with you add 10 yards onto that, you got field position that you might want to get down there, even though you've got a young quarterback. It's time now to cut him loose. And you talk about the weapons that Florida State has on offense. Number 7 there, Jamie German, and Teal Green, 87, are two big league receivers.
As we mentioned back in the first quarter, 4-2 or just under is what German was timed at a camp coming out of high school. So you're going to bump and run with him. You better be able to bump big and run fast. Pass in the flat. It is hit it. Intercepted and dropped. They're going to say incomplete. But Robert Hammond had just given up his body.
That's the only problem with trying to cut it loose with 3:30, because an interception and another score, you get started in a track meet. But Ryan Clement knows he was eyeing up the receiver too long. Robert Hammond broke on the ball, and he's open there for the interception.
And for those who wonder how Chris C. Jones wound up on the ground, he lost his footing. He was not pushed. McMillan is the lone setback. Clement zings it, has it complete. That's Daphnis right over the middle. And his tight end will take it to the, where are they going to mark him here? Just across the 40-yard line. As Robert Hammond came up to make the play on him. And let's see, it's going to be 3rd down. And to move the chains, they have to go to the 47-yard line. 3:06, 3:05, and counting until halftime. Mike Tirico will be coming up at a halftime with a report on what really has been Upset Saturday. Some huge surprises around the country in college football. Hit again, and he'll be sacked. That's twice that they've gotten to him, and this one is way back at the 31-yard line. And Shevin Smith is the man who wrapped him up, but Boulware is the guy who pressured him out of the pocket.
Yeah, Peter Boulware may be the best defensive lineman of the pass rush. You see a real wide rush here also again, and the tackle has to get off the line of scrimmage to be able to get to him. Look at here, he never moves. Something happened on the count. Either it was a silent count, something. The tackle never moved on that play.
Never got touched, you're right. Chrissy's kick. Wobbly spiral, but it's a good one. Way back to the 20-yard line as Feaster is backpedaling. And that's a kick of 48 yards. Well, the 1995 college basketball season tips off on Saturday, October the 14th with Midnight Madness. ESPN comes live to you from Maryland, from Virginia and Michigan. And on ESPN2 will be in Kansas, Minnesota, and Mississippi State. Midnight Madness, 1 week from tonight. You can hear the thumps right now.
The ground ball is moving.
Well, the average time that Florida State has been taking to score, this is plenty of time for them. As Dunn gets the handoff, little ad-libbing, comes to the outside as you see a flag come down, and he will take it to the 32-yard line. Nick Ward finally wrapped him up.
I think you're going to get a holding call on Andre Cooper as a wide receiver. Now, he made some real good blocks early, but it looks like he was holding out here on the outside. We'll see. Either that or they're going to call it against the Miami guy for a face mask. Well, Warwick Dunn can make some moves, stop on a dime, and change direction.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. Penalty, first down.
I think it was on Andre Cooper because he was out here fighting. Warwick Dunn, here's the handoff. Nothing up inside. Now I think I'll go outside. You're going to pick up Andre Cooper, number 1 on the outside here. And I think that's the call. Let's see. Yep, right to the face mask by Nick Ward, number 27. He's belting him around there. More punches there and some heavyweight fights.
And a lot less expensive. So the penalty takes it out to the 47-yard line. First down Seminoles, 1:46 until halftime, and they'll go to the draw play. Done again, inside the 45, and he's down to the 42 as Penny Holmes will wrap him up, and we got another flag deep downfield.
Same two guys again, Ron. Andre Cooper against Nick Ward. Let's see how it goes this time. Here's the play again. Andre Cooper now. He's got into Nick Ward. He's a freshman. Now he's got his goat a little bit. Well, I think this one's going to be on Andre. Good smart move. Oh, Nick says, hey, I can't punch you. I'll wrestle you.
Well, Nick obviously played hockey at a time. He was going to pull his jersey over his head there.
Live ball, personal foul on the offense, 15-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Now would be a time to go after Nick Ward a little bit. You knock him around a little bit. Now Andre Cooper picks up the penalty. But
make the hit and run a post.
Work on him now with the pass. You got to admire Nick Ward now. He replaces Carlos Jones. Carlos Jones gets beat on the pass. Now Nick Ward's back in there, and they're challenging him.
Clement deep in the pocket, and they throw out in that vacated area in the flat again. And Dunn going to be tackled by Ward.
Well, they got away. Miami got away with a spearing call here. A little late hit on Warwick Dunn, but well, they're working on Nick Ward. But you got to admire the job he's doing tonight as a true freshman against these receivers.
About to go under 1 minute until halftime. Cannell, same side of the field, and they have it complete to Messam. It'll be a Florida State first down. Earl Little trying to cover on the play.
Tough to get to Danny Cannell because of the shotgun and the depth he's at. Experienced offensive line, and he throws so quickly on time. Tough to blitz him, tough to get after him.
Draw play again. Rock Preston, wow, good play at the line of scrimmage as he is knocked down by Fortney. Well, coming up next in the GMAC halftime report, shocking upsets. Kansas, Colorado will have Virginia, North Carolina, and Northwestern and Michigan. And a timeout is called by Florida State, so we'll take it with them. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Class is outside today.
There are plenty of places for college students to study.
Yeah, class outside. All right.
Class is outside. Make sure you tell Miller.
However, some learning environments are more stimulating than others. To learn how you can earn college credit in the Navy.
What's that? I thought you told him.
I thought you were going to tell him.
And get up to $30,000 to finish your degree. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
Nice of you to join us, Miller.
A bowling ball, a pineapple, a birthday cake, a Nokia cellular phone. One of these objects would make it easier for me to juggle my schedule.
He's a juggler. You're not. Pick up a Nokia cellular phone to help you juggle your schedule. Nokia, largest European cellular phone manufacturer, now in America.
There's one way to win the Napa 500, and then there's another. At Napa's Pick the Winner sale, where you can register for a chance to win the Napa 500 pace car. While you're here, pick up some great parts and accessories at low prices, like a Napa power battery, just $29.99, and Napa motor oil for only 89 cents. The Pick the Winner sale, going on now at Napa.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
52 ticks left until halftime. Florida State by 10. Total yards, Florida State 264, Miami 54. But FSU only leading by 10, but the next 52 seconds is key in this ball game. Here comes the blitz. Deep in the middle. You can see it right over the middle. E.G. Green, and he's going to take it down for the first down at the 26-yard line.
Juan Russell, just talking about blitz and Danny Cannell, how you have to give it some time, but you're going to see number 45 come into the picture, but Danny Cannell has so much time, he's never really going to get to him. See him come in there, did your picture? Came from too far back.
Cannell going to go on top. Right side. Cooper wide open at the 3. He'll walk in. Well, all of a sudden, the cat and mouse game, Nick ran into a tiger.
You figure he turned from a tiger
from a not an alley cat anymore, no.
Well, Nick Ward, in fairness to him now, he's a true freshman playing. He didn't get any help over the top. You figure it's just a matter of time till they work Cooper against Nick Ward, but they get the touchdown with 33 seconds left.
Bentley knocks it right down the middle.
Andre Cooper's a very, very tough receiver. Now, he should have help over the top. That's Nick Ward. He's sinking a little bit, but you're going to see a defensive back come into the picture there. Looked like Tremaine Mack a little bit too late.
So he was looking for help?
He had help all the way. He was sinking in too deep coverage, but he did not a very good job there, and it was number 3, Tremaine Mack, had to get over the top.
Cannell has hit his last 7 passes, including 2 touchdowns. So all of a sudden, the rocky started, and with him getting hot, 24-7 now.
And now look at the passing yardage. We circled it with 6 minutes to go in the half at 54 yards. Now you look up there, it's 137. So we've done a lot of damage here in the last 6 minutes.
Discussing with his teammates the situation. Carlos Jones, of course, is number 12, and he's the man that he is replacing when he goes in the ball game. And I'm sure asking him about the circumstance and, did I turn him loose too soon or what happened?
No, the way he played it, he was sinking, doing the right thing. No one was threatening him in his zone there, but he had to have help over the top. Tremaine Mack, as you look at Danny Cannell numbers now, he talked about that sick feeling last year. He's got a pretty good feeling in his stomach tonight.
This is Gator. And he'll step out of bounds. Mike Tirico, let's go back to you quickly.
Ron, you mentioned the hurricane that came through the area. The Thursday night game forced back to Saturday. Auburn still played very well. Stephen Davis, first game over 100, 162 yards, and Terry Bowden's home watching his dad with a smile. Today, Terry won by 28.
So a big victory for Auburn a couple of days after they thought it was going to happen, but they still got it.
I think bigger also is the fact Arkansas down and also LSU.
Clement going to go on top. Too far. And even if Jateel Green had caught it, I have a feeling that the flags would have come out because he just ran over Shevin Smith. He just ran up his back and shoved him down, the defensive back.
Just a little bit again too long by Ryan Clement. Very well covered. 30 yards passing for the young sophomore here in this ball game.
Mike, you talk about weapons, and Jateel Green, of course, is their guy they like to go to. Against BPI, he had 8 catches for 171 yards in that ball game.
I think he had 4 over 35 yards against Virginia Tech.
This is a handoff on the delay to Gator. Breaks it up the middle, gets off one tackler, and then he will finally be stopped for the first down at the 47.
Miami's still got 3 timeouts, so they're going to use one of theirs right now. This is Scott Covington, number 11, the backup quarterback. When I visited Miami just before the season started and watched some practice tape with Larry Coker. This is a very talented quarterback also, Scott Covington. So they've got 2 young quarterbacks in Ryan Clement, who's done a nice job tonight. Still hasn't been able to find the mark throwing the football consistently, but Covington could come off the bench too. He's very talented also, Ron.
You really liked him, didn't you? I remember we talked and you said that, thought that was going to wind up being a heck of a battle between him and Clement.
I really thought it could have been Covington in this position, but Clement has more experience. Covington was hurt in the spring. Of course, Ryan Collins got hurt at the beginning of the year as the starting quarterback, so that gave way for Ryan Clement. Scott Covington missed spring practice with surgery, so he's a little bit behind. Ryan Collins, number 8.
Well, the interesting thing in talking with Butch yesterday is the bottom line is you keep talking about the youth on this Miami football team, but 69 of the 75 scholarship players will be back next year. Seconds left until halftime. Butch Davis looking on anxiously. His club down all of a sudden by 17 points. Wilson with the pressure gets it out to Gator in the flat. You can see how quick he is, and he'll step out of bounds at the 49-yard line.
6 seconds to go, Ron. You just got to hang one up here. Throw it down the football field.
Casey Jones and Connell Spain have had some extended conversations after the last 3 plays. 63 white and 96 in the garnet and gold.
Well, you recruit against these guys. Florida State recruits against Miami, and of course, the University of Florida down here. There's a lot of competition all throughout the year between these 2 schools. See what happens when you get that wide rush. Number 79, Curlin Blaze, is just starting out a little bit too early to try to get back.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Remains second down.
See, a wide rush is forcing those tackles. They've got to get off the ball. Now, the left tackle here, 79, standing up. He knows that wide rush is coming right here. So he's got to be able to try to get off that ball to get to that defensive end. Back up, but he's a little bit too early.
That was 58 Bulwell. Clement going on top, and it's going to be intercepted by Samari Roll. So that's the end of the first half with the score. Florida State 24, Miami 7. And now let's join Mike Tirico for the GMAC halftime report.
Okay, Ron, so the home team has won by double digits the last 2 years in this series. Right now, the home team, the Noles, leading by 17. Coming up on the GMAC Halftime Report, we will document the first Saturday in October, which turned out to be Upset Saturday. Plus, Chris Lee and Craig will join us from Tallahassee. Their thoughts on the day and the first half. At the break, Noles lead the Canes by 17. Don't go away.
Lower your right foot and repeat after me. I promise to be free. I promise to be different. I promise to take the other path. I promise to be unique. I promise to drive an Eldorado with a 300 horsepower North Star V8, a suspension that reads faster than Evelyn Wood, and a body that parts traffic. Eldorado with the North Star system by Cadillac.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new truck payment stretch you to the limit. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It keeps new vehicles well within reach.
Relax. Kick back. Rest easy. Not the first thoughts that come to mind when investing on your own. Working with a Dean Witter broker, you'll feel differently.
Every client's ambition should be our ambition. Their dreams, our dreams.
Because after all, it's reassuring to know someone is there looking out for your interests. Dean Witter.
We measure success, one investor at a time.
This halftime report is brought to you by GMAC.
There is one unbeaten in action, University of Southern California, and running back Laval Woods takes this 4th and 1, 20 yards in Berkeley against the Cal Bears, who's been hanging tough, a lot closer than the 61-0 blowout last year, but the Trojans lead by 16. Keyshawn Johnson under 100 yards. He's been over 100, an NCAA record 12 straight. Keep an eye on that through the 4th. Welcome to the GMAC Halftime Report on Upset Saturday, the first Saturday in October, including the Colorado Buffaloes. They lost their quarterback, hung on to beat Texas A&M, win at Oklahoma. Now, not only do they have Kansas at home, but they also have Coy Detmer healthy and available today. Kansas, though, led this game 26-24, and June Henley breaks free for 43 yards, 33-24 Kansas. Hessler started, played most of the game. Detmer injured, came back, and picked off by Freddie Hammond. That set up another Kansas touchdown. The Jayhawks led 40-24. Then, untouched, Detmer's knee gives out. He walked off the field, and the rest of his Buffs walk off the field without a win for the first time this year. Kansas goes into Boulder and beats the now Detmerless Buffs 40-24. Detmer will have surgery to repair the torn ACL. He didn't do any further damage to the knee, but he is out for the season.
He had a couple episodes of the knee slipping, and he knew right away that was probably going to be it. So we're going to go ahead on Monday, tentatively, Monday afternoon, and go ahead and do a full reconstruction and look towards next year as far as Coy's concerned and get him going for the spring ball.
Now Hessler at the helm, the Buffs with a loss. Unbeaten Michigan hosting Northwestern. Wildcats down 4 after a turnover. Steve Schnurr to Dwayne Bates. The pass to Darren Drexler, 26 yards. After advancing a couple of yards on 3rd and goal, Matt Hartell, the fullback, 2-yard touchdown catch. Northwestern added a field goal. Coach Gary Barnett said this one was bigger than the win at Notre Dame since he was tutored in the Michigan Heritage when he was an assistant under Bill McCartney. Northwestern beats Michigan 19-13, first victory over the Wolverines since 1965. Texas A&M, another top 10 team, at Texas Tech, 7-7, 37 seconds left. Corey Pullig is back, picked off by Zach Thomas, who missed most of the week of practice with the flu. A 23-yard game-winning touchdown. Tech comes back to hand the Aggies their first conference loss since December 1 of 1990, ending that 29-game unbeaten streak. Another one of the top 10, Virginia at North Carolina, They rallied from down 13-0 to take a 1-point fourth-quarter lead. Leon Johnson had a key fourth-down run on this drive, then a 5-yard score. Virginia's last hope is knocked down by the defensive back Omar Brown. North Carolina, a season salvation win over George Welsh's team by 5, ending Virginia's 5-game win streak. Virginia, maybe they showed some of the stress of having to play 7 consecutive weeks. They only have 5 games over the remaining 8 weekends of the season. So, in September, 6 of the Associated Press ranked top 10 lost. Today, we lost 4 of the top 10. Ohio State taking on Penn State. Number 5, Ohio State had a scare for a while. They were down 4 with 3 minutes left. Tremendous touch by Bobby Hoying, threading the needle to Ricky Dudley, putting Eddie George in position for this 6-yard run. Hoying threw for 354. Glenn caught 175 and 2 touches. George ran for over 100, erasing Curtis Enos's 146-yard yard rushing day as Ohio State beat Penn State by 3. Did you see it earlier on ESPN2? Eddie Robinson, the Grambling coach, the pep talk before what would be win 400 for his Grambling team. As the head coach, Jason Bratton, 17-yard score. Grambling rolled over Mississippi Valley State 42-6. Mob scene after the game. Robinson swarmed by adoring fans, and he took a phone call from President Clinton on the field after the game.
I surely will. To the football team, the president said, congratulations. Mr. President, it has to be one of my greatest moments in Grambling to have you call, and thank you so very much.
Greats like Tank Younger, first black player in the NFL who played for Robinson, and Doug Williams, quarterback in Super Bowl 22 for the Redskins, on hand to see Grambling beat Mississippi Valley State 42-6. Some perspective, well, some of these coaches average 10 wins per season. Bowden would be 80, Spurrier 82, and the young gun, Neuheisel, would be 73 when they reached the 400 milestone that Eddie Robinson reached today. Let's talk a little bit about what's gone on in college football today. Back to the site of tonight's game, Tallahassee, Chris Lee and Craig. Mr. Fowler.
Mike, thank you. They've been waiting a long time for a night like this. A 4-1 edge in total yards. Punting mistakes key for both sides, Lee.
Well, it happened to Florida State. They had that hurricane situation. They had to practice inside. Their timing was bad. Miami blocked the punt. The reason that's important, Miami's got 69 yards total offense. They might not ever score again if it wasn't for that blocked punt.
Yeah, you talk about punting. Butch Davis was reaming Mike Chrissy twice after he failed to perform for them in the punting game. Another guy this week for Miami. I know they're down, but he has performed on defense. Ray Lewis, he knew he had to step up and accept the challenge. This was unbelievable. The guard blocks out. Center blocks down. It's going to be an ISO. 280-pound fullback Pooh Bear Williams is going to go. Watch Ray Lewis come up, shed the block, make the play on not an average runner, but a very good runner. Ray Lewis has a great deal of enthusiasm, but the rest of his teammates aren't making the same kind of plays that he is himself.
And how long can they last? It's funny to talk about a hurry-up offense being patient, with Florida State using body shots with the running game, and then finally throwing the big blows in the last 6 minutes of the first half. Well, it was upset Saturday. Amazing results all over the place. Northwestern, can you keep